Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, April the 29th. We're here to look at the new releases published this week in crime fiction and thrillers, the darker side. Hope you're having a good day. Bobby says hi. Good morning. Elena says good morning, Bobby and PK. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? She says, I am good. I am taking a day off today. I shall be at work tomorrow. Oh, enjoy your day off. That's always fun. Let's jump in. There are always a few. Blake Banner has a new one, 24th in his Harry Bower series. When Brigadier Buddy Bird turns up unannounced at Harry's log cabin outside Pinedale, Wyoming, Harry knows it's something serious. He's not wrong. The task he brings him is unofficial. Go to the tiny Atlantic island of Ithaca off the coast of Guyana. There are unconfirmed reports of child slavery at a lithium mine. Harry is to check it out and report back. Governance of the island is disputed by Suriname and Guyana, and as a result exists in anarchy, but that is not the main problem Harry must face. If the reports are correct, the people running the mine are a consortium of major defense contractors whose vested interest is to keep the island ungoverned to allow them unfettered access to the lithium. If Harry tries to stop the operation, the people coming after him will be the best, but Harry knows just one thing. The only thing he gives a damn about. If children are being exploited at the mine, there will be blood to pay. He doesn't care whose blood it is, except I'm sure the children's. Estelle Ryan has a new one. 30th. Holy moly. I've read the first, maybe 16 of these. The Vernay Connection. When a revered art expert suffers a catastrophic and very public breakdown during a prestigious authentication, Dr. Genevieve Lenard sees what no one else can. Then what happened to this man was not a breakdown at all. Drawn into the glittering and secretive world of European cultural heritage, Genevieve and her team uncover a web of deception that reaches into the highest levels of EU institutions. Someone has been quietly, methodically building toward an endgame years in the making, and the celebrated international exhibition currently drawing the art world's attention is only the surface of it. With lives hanging in the balance and the clock running out, Genevieve must confront a threat unlike anything the team has faced before. One where the weapon is invisible, the victims don't know they are victims, and the person at the center has convinced himself he is the hero. This main character, Dr. Genevieve Lenard, is autistic, or definitely very, very strongly on the spectrum. A Deadly Episode by Anthony Horowitz, 6th in the Hawthorne and Horowitz Mysteries. Ex-Detective Inspector Daniel Hawthorne is dead, or rather the actor playing him in the film adaptation of The Word is Murder is. Rising star David Kane has been stabbed, and it seems that everyone on the set had a motive. Kane had just fired his PA. He had fallen out with his director, slept with the screenwriter, humiliated his co-star, and dropped his agent days before he was about to sign a multi-million-dollar deal to appear in the next Spider-Man movie. But what if Kane's murder had been a mistake? What if it was the real Hawthorne who was the intended victim? For it turns out that the brilliant detective may have got it wrong 10 years earlier. An innocent man has died in jail, and perhaps someone has decided that Hawthorne must pay the price. From the film set on the south coast of England, the story moves to Reeth in Yorkshire, the village where Hawthorne grew up. A burned-down school, a car accident that isn't what it seems, blackmail and murder in an Elizabethan country house. Somehow they combine to unlock the secret of what has happened in Hastings. For once, the local police are helpful. D.S. Sarah Milnes gives Hawthorne carte blanche to investigate, and there may even be a hint of romance in the air, which leaves his hapless sidekick Horowitz on his own, stumbling his way to truth. This is one of those where the author has put himself in as a character. 51% by Matt Whitten. Oh, Matt Whitten has been a writer for TV for years and years. In a future where corporations own everything, including people, one murder could ignite a revolution. 20 years from now, the United States is completely privatized. The Big Six syndicates own schools, roads, police departments, even human beings. When a young immigrant woman, 51% owned by the syndicates, is brutally murdered, NYPD Inc. Detective Juke O'Keefe and his partner, crime marketing consultant Haley Navarro, catch the case. Pregnant and broke, Haley knows they can't crowdfund enough from a dead immigrant to pay for basic forensics, let alone their paychecks, but Juke, with his old-school sense of justice, is determined to find the killer. Their search for the truth leads them to Jukes' ex, Sophia Jones, a resistance leader on the syndicate's most wanted list. As the three join forces, they stumble onto a conspiracy designed to destroy the last shreds of American freedom. To rescue 51 percenters and everyone else from syndicate control, they'll have to defeat the most ruthless, powerful AI in the world. And the rest is Blurbridge. End of that row. A Thousand Cuts by Gregory Poirier. This is a series, doesn't say what order, the Max Starkey thrillers. Meet Max Starkey, disgraced CIA operative turned underworld fixer whose past loves, rivals, and indiscretions close in on him in the jungles of Southeast Asia, as it does. 7 years after a CIA mission in Laos went sideways, Max lives in the gray spaces between criminals and justice, recovering stolen goods for villains who don't ask questions. But when he's lured to Bangkok under false pretenses, his past catches up with him. The setup, an old flame, Kelly Riggs, now married to his CIA rival. The job, steal $130 million in dictator-owned gold before a coup ignites. The problem, everyone plans a double cross, and Max is the mark. Then there's Juliana Ibarra, Max's sharp-tongued companion, an undercover FBI agent with secrets of her own who further proves that trust kills and redemption demands blood in this high-octane, it's a thriller, debut thriller, spanning the streets of Bangkok to the Laotian rainforest, and this guy is apparently a screenwriter. A Violent Masterpiece by Jordan Harper. Los Angeles right now. America with its back up against the wall, this Frankenstein's monster of crimes and lurid dreams sewn together into something like a city. A city ready to explode. A Hollywood pedophile is arrested and is ready to tear down the city to get his freedom. A young woman goes missing, and men in black rubber gloves who look like cops clean out her apartment in the middle of the night. And the serial killer known as the LA Ripper is on the loose, leaving tragic, graphic, brutal crime scenes in his wake. Three people trying to get their heads above the dirty water will find themselves coming together to unite these strands into one enormous, unspeakable crime. And then they go into the characters. But I think we get the gist. Moving on. Broken Circle by Matt Brawley, third in the D.S. Liam Killshaw series. When the body of a teenage girl is found posed in the Mary Maiden stone circle, her face coated in clay and ochre, D.S. Liam Killshaw is drawn into a case where near-forgotten fictions bleed into brutal fact. With echoes of an old folk tale of dancers turned to stone, the scene is more about staging than superstition. And when two skeletons are unearthed beneath a nearby stone, Killshaw realizes the past is far from dead and buried. As he hunts for a missing farmhand linked to the girl, more victims surface, each placed with ritual precision in remote ancient sites. With the noose tightening, Killshaw must decipher centuries-old secrets to break the circle, because in this deadly game of ancient rites and cold-blooded murder, the killer is saving the most important sacrifice for last. Codename Gorgeous by M.C. Vaughn. This might go on Garbogus, we'll see. A spicy spy romance. A spy who hasn't yet admitted she's a spy turns her fiancé's life upside down with the truth in this blah blah blah. Vivian Flint knows danger. Intrigue and combat are all in a day's work for a spy. Her alias, however, lives a quiet life. Jane Davis is an art broker with a gorgeous art handler boyfriend, a dog, and an apartment in D.C. Said boyfriend knows exactly nothing about Vivian, which is a problem since he just proposed. Now Viv is coming clean and hoping for the best. John Seymour just had the rug pulled out from under him. Not only is everything he knew about his fiancée a lie, but suddenly they're both on the run. After an attack at her office, which might involve a criminal ex and bioweapons, they're scrambling through air ducts and fighting off goons. Who is this woman jetting them around Morocco, Gibraltar, Monte Carlo, and Paris? She may be sexy and strong, but the wedding is definitely off. Vivian can't blame John, but for the moment they need each other. His mission, should he choose to accept it, trust the woman he loves, and maybe they'll make it out of this mess alive. Actually, that's more like a spy versus spy book. End of that row. Dear Mother by Rhea Fry. After a childhood riddled with trauma and unanswered questions, Isabel Archer vows to chase down the truth. So when her estranged mother dies, the investigative journalist returns to the one story that still haunts her. Isabel was 13 when her 3 foster siblings died tragically in a fire. The blaze was ruled an accident, and despite the neglect, Isabel never wanted to believe her mother was a killer. But 25 years later, the accusations linger. Back in Cedar Lock to settle the estate, Isabel revisits her childhood home. A familiar dread permeates the surrounding woods, and when autopsy reports cast new suspicions, Isabel unearths much more than just terrifying memories. With help from her ex, Isabel frantically digs for answers. What really happened the night of the fire? How did her mother die? And are the two somehow connected? What they find could poison long-held memories and incinerate everything she thought to be true. Live Through This by Douglas Corleone. Crime writer Greg Dreyer returns to his Pennsylvania campus for homecoming weekend to revisit the death of his girlfriend Jess. During their freshman year, everyone assumed she took her own life when she fell from the roof of D'Amelio Hall. Everyone except Greg. There's two G's after. After 30 years of struggling with grief, guilt, and personal demons, Greg still has his doubts about how and why Jess really died that night. His search for answers is also a chance to reconnect with 4 friends from his college class. We're shocked. No, really. Most of them have moved on from the terrible tragedy. Not Greg, nor Jess's mother, who's convinced to this day that her daughter was murdered. As Greg's investigation leads deeper into a past he doesn't recognize, the trail grows darker and more dangerous with each new revelation. As a reunion among old friends becomes one of secrets and suspicion, Greg must confront his own troubled history and a truth with which he may not be able to live. I did click on it. We'll give it its moment. The Dead Room by Katrina McPherson, who I've met and is a lovely person. Reeling from the death of her husband, 30-something audiobook narrator Lindsay Hale retreats to her Scottish hometown in the comforts of old times. The bungalow where she grew up is just as she left it, next to the scrapyard her family still owns. But something is wrong, something beyond grief. Something she can only glimpse from the corner of her eye. Lindsay's brother and best friend are there to welcome her back. An elderly widow helps Lindsay make sense of her new normal, and a kind man hints at unexpected possibilities. But when her widow friend vanishes, only Lindsay seems to notice, and while she starts recognizing strangers, she begins forgetting familiar faces. Every night, as Lindsay's dream house fills with nightmares, she wonders whether she's truly unraveling or if something more sinister is at play. Buried secrets surface and reality bends, forcing Lindsay to face the terrifying truth that her new haven isn't so safe after all. When the Storm Passes by Manel Luriero, translated by Thomas Bunstead. Doesn't say what language this was translated from. In the summer, the Isle of Ons is a vacation paradise, but in the winter, when nature is unpredictable and supply boats are rare, Ons is far from inviting. Yet the maybe it's Italian. Yet the off-season is perfect for Roberto Libiera, who hopes to find peace and inspiration to write his new novel. Instead, the island's few permanent residents give Roberto an unnerving and cautionary welcome. There are even warnings of chilling Galician folklore that keeps him on edge and on watch at night. Then, when Roberto finds a mysterious bundle floating near the shore, the contents trigger in the residents' old family feuds, scores to settle, and an unspeakable thirst for revenge. As a palpable sense of dread grows more threatening, a violent storm portends even worse to come. With all communication to the outside world shut down, Roberto must face not only the forces of nature, but forces he has yet to comprehend on an island where people will do anything to survive. Well, I think most people do anything to survive. End of that row. The Girl Upstairs. Oh, by Jessica R. Patch. I just finished one of her books last night. Gwen McDaniel's life is broken, but she knows the perfect place to fix it. Cold Harbor, Maine, an idyllic small town with views of Acadia National Park, is where she used to vacation with her parents as a child. Here she and Stephen can start over, renovating their cliffside fixer-upper while patching up their marriage. Soon everything will be better. Except from the moment they arrive, Gwen sees and hears things, and it's more than just the drafts and shadows that are part of any old house. Stephen downplays her fears, warning her not to fixate on problems as she has in the past. But Gwen spent years as a homicide detective, and her instincts don't lie. Something happened here. Proof comes when she rips up the attic's carpet to discover a chilling message carved into the wood underneath. As Gwen delves into the history of the house and the Cold Harbor community, she begins to piece the fragments together, and gradually a terrifying picture emerges. A missing girl, a house of horrors, and a dark decades-old nightmare that is more haunting than Gwen ever imagined. The Hotel Guest by Rosemary Hennigan. Kit's summer position at the Abbaye de Saint-Maurice, an upscale hotel in the French Alps, was meant to be a new start, but after she became entangled with a mysterious group of guests, this date came to hold her darkest secret, which left her with no choice but to flee. After a decade spent laying low, Kit receives an invitation to return to the hotel, but who is calling her back? See, don't answer those things. And why when they are promised to stay away? They all promise to stay away. Kit can't resist the pull of the Abbey and the chance to finally find closure, but upon arrival she learns that a former flame is writing a book that could expose the group's shared secret. The others need her help to stop him, but will Kit be able to betray the man she once loved for the good of the rest? And how far are old friends willing to go to protect themselves? When new details surface about that long-ago summer, Kit is forced to question the story she's been telling herself, about its disturbing ending and what it all says about the person she really is. We're moving fast. We got 3 more and the clock is running out. It's like looking at like the sand running out. In the glittering world of 1920s New York, the 7 Ridley heirs seem to have it all: wealth, status, and protection as the city's most powerful family. But when notorious gossip columnist Dale Kamen is found dead during their family's renowned summer soiree, their carefully constructed world begins to crack. Behind the champagne and jazz, each adopted Ridley sibling harbors secrets that could destroy them. There's Amelia, the responsible eldest, trying to hold it all together. Adesua, whose artistic ambitions in the Harlem Renaissance threaten her family's expectations, and wild child Kavita, whose dangerous nights in speakeasies may have finally caught up with her. As the murder investigation intensifies, long-buried tensions surface and family loyalties unravel. It said there were 7 heirs. I guess the other 4 don't count. Someone knows the truth about the Ridleys, and they're willing to kill to expose it. In a world where appearance is everything and power comes at a deadly price, the siblings must decide what matters more: protecting the family name or each other. The Lost Angels by Michelle Dominguez Green, second in the Cassidy Clark series. Back from leave after her first closed case, Cassidy returns to the LAPD ready to dig in. This time, homeless teens are disappearing, and it's not because of social reform. They're being targeted. Cassidy follows a lead to a charismatic grad student who leans on his charm and vast resources to lure vulnerable kids under his wing. But when the people who could expose him start turning up dead, she abruptly switches focus, racing to protect his potential victims instead. People like Evie, the street-smart, unhoused teenager Cassidy's father is trying to help, even as his own past comes calling. Retired Officer Bill Clark has enough on his plate without getting involved in another investigation, but Evie strikes a chord neither Cassidy nor Bill can ignore. As the stakes and body count grow higher, Cassidy ventures deeper into LA's seedy underground, but beneath the city's bright lights and glamour, an even darker truth awaits. ... End of that row, last one. The Final System by Anthony Tardif. Decades ago, the cyber crash destroyed the internet, almost destroyed the nation. What? From the ashes rose Overnet, a new realm of cybersecurity created by tech genius Dr. Andrew Norman. We don't like him. But gamer Jason Cromartie witnesses a brutal side to Norman's system when his twin sister becomes a casualty of its algorithmic choices. Now Jason will do anything to bring down the man he holds responsible, even become a freaker working for a dangerous hacker ring via Sprite, his secretive handler. For Chloe Dunn-Carr, an ambitious politician who has reaped only the benefits of Overnet despite being one of Norman's staunchest opponents, the algorithm's growing control means raising her daughter in a world that's losing touch with its humanity. When Norman unveils the Final System, a revolutionary artificial general intelligence set to impose a new world order, Jason and Chloe find themselves pawns in Norman's twisted game of man versus technology. Now, may the best player win. And that is it. Whew, we made it. Bell's about to go. Well, I might check one or two. We'll see. All right. Hope you have a good Wednesday. I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Friday, we'll look at the rest of the cozy mysteries that we started on Monday. There's a whole slew of those, so it's going to be fast. All right. Thank you guys so much. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day and God bless. Thank you, Cajun.